Ladies and gentlemen, my name is SUBRATA. I'm a mechanical engineer working in manufacturing industry since last 22 years. Today I'm going to discuss a topic which is, basically a shame for the human civilization at this moment. That is child labor. If we see some facts and figure, we all will feel very sorry actually. Like, as on 2017, 218 million child labor are there in this whole world, and 14% of the children of age group between 5 to 17 are child labor in this world. And every year 22,000 children are died because of different accident in child labor. And like for example, there are a lot of statistics like that actually. Like for example, 38% children in Cambodia are child labor. So, and if you find this, this child labor index, you'll find that Somalia, that is a country in Africa, this is #1, and there are other Congo, like this Zimbabwe, Myanmar, and there are a lot of other countries, Burundi. There's most of the African countries that is they are in the top of the child labor index. And there are many other facts. Do you know, like great company like Nestle and Hershey, the chocolate manufacturer, they are also accused for their bonded labor actually for their production of chocolates and all this. So this is a very the dark side of this world. And still in 2018. There is a slavery process is still going on in this whole world, and as of now, by 2017 end, the statistics is 28 million people are under slavery in different countries. You can see, and it is it is there in Europe, it is there in US, it is in Asia, everywhere. So this is actually black side or dark side of this human civilization till date. And you'll be surprised that by doing this, like child labor or the forced labor or the slavery, there is a huge business or turnover is going on. You can say in this picture, like profit from the forced labor is by USD billion, 100 billion USD, and Asia Pacific has got the highest turnover by that. And there are developed Europe, Central South Europe, the Africas, and a lot of others. So it is basically still this practice is going on, this slavery process in different countries, different industries. And you'll find, if we see the statistics of India only, you'll find that India is the second highest number of child labor working in different sectors, while Africa is the #1 in child labor. And according to different statistics, say that approximately 10 million bonded laborers are there working in different industries in India. You'll find that out of, as on date, the total population of India is 134 crore, out of which 1.6 crore workers are below 14 years in India. So this is this is the area which the government needs to take care very seriously, and this needs a very fastest improvement. And you'll find that everywhere there is no sector. When I've gone through doing some research on this subject, I'll find there is no sector where child labor is not there in India. You'll find that the hotel, restaurant, this jerry work, leather industry, you'll find that 40% work are child labor, and their duty hours is also on an average 13 to 14 hours. So this is inhumane actually. On the other hand, in Europe, people are working 35 hours in a week. So this is the level actually, like India and other developed countries. In fact, I have been working in Germany, so I've seen it, like people work 35 hours only. And India, like adult people work on an average 70 hours, double. But output is, Germany's output is much higher than India, because their process and everything is, a lot of standardization, a lot of, good things are there. Now, come to the point, this child labor, there's every sector, like construction, manufacturing, agriculture, everywhere there is a child labor. you'll find that 74% child labor working in this agriculture, Indian agriculture sector. There is very less mechanization other than this state Punjab. There is manual work, and where the child labor are involved, they are not going to school. So this is the level of development as on date. You'll find also in construction sites like 4% child labor are working. Maybe that their parents are working in the construction site, so the children, they are not going to school, so they are also joining for doing small works, and there is no strict rules and regulations that is there in the books actually. So people are child labor involved in the construction site also. Even in engineering, manufacturing industry, like 18% worker child labor. So there is the all industry like carpet industry, glass industry, every industry child labor will find, like matchbox, this matchbox manufacturing industry, child labors are there. And now this is everywhere. And now there is one another side of these things, like there is one called paid child labor and there is unpaid child labor. You can see like there are boys or girls in the family, they have say one grocery shop and they are working on the grocery shop. Maybe they are not going to school, but they are not paid monthly or something. So this is called actually unpaid child labor. And this is actually everywhere. You'll find that in poor families, like family have a small tea stall and their children are working in the stall, but they are not paid actually. At the end they are getting food only. So these are the way. There are also unpaid child laborers are there, like people are working cleaning these these utensils in the hotel, restaurant. And very worst condition of child labor in Indian this cotton industry. Cotton industry, 63% labor are child labor. You can see in this picture. So this is actually because there are a lot of other advantages of using child labor. You don't need to pay so much. So that is the the positive side of the industry. So industry is also promoting this child labor. In the domestic sector also, like student, the poor childrens, they are also working, and maybe some cases paid, some cases unpaid, and everywhere actually transportation. Also like in garages, like automotive garages, children are working. And there is another tobacco industry, like other than cigarette, like bidi is another this tobacco products in India. So there are also like child labor working majorly actually, and which is very much harmful for their health also. They are not going to school. So this is the development stages at this moment, and we feel very ashamed that the small boys are polishing shoes and so-called educated people are get polished shoe from them. So this is the this is the real education feeling of the people actually. Now on the other side, like government is doing actually nothing significant, rather I can say doing it's not significant actually. Otherwise so much of child labor should not be there in India. Like they are doing all this, this, so you need to remove. Actually politicians are either, in my view, either they don't know the facts and they don't have the knowledge actually what is the depth of the problem, or they are very much reluctant about the problem because they are not interested to solve this problem, and outside they are incapable to solve this problem, rather you can say. You can see this budget, this for child security, children educations. For that there are a huge budget is money is fixed for the budget, but actually this politicians consume that money in a wrong way, and they're not doing that development for the actual. Otherwise, why there is so much of this child labor in India, and people are like kids are not going to schools. They are not in a position to going to school, because when someone is not getting food actually, how people can think of education? So obviously they are forced to be child labor actually. We have in India, we have a lot of laws about this child labor and all these things, but they are into the books actually, like the way, because politicians are promoting also for their vote banking or many other reason, and we are not get developed actually. That is one most important things, like a free education in child labor. This Indian child labor law, the number one point is for 6 to 14 years education should be free. But if you go to the private sector, you will find what is the cost of the education today. And if you go to the government sector, government primary school and all this, there is there is zero infrastructure. Basically there is no students, so people are not going there. So this is the situation actually. So first, why people are going for child labor, because they are not getting food. So food has to ensure by the government actually for the poor families. Then only they can think of the schools and all these things, which this initiative is taken today. That is one thing actually, but this is not a long-term solution actually, and it's not the ultimate solution that I can say. So, and you can see this most of the schools in Indian villages, this even students don't have the seat to sit for a chair and bench and all this. They're sitting on the floor, and teacher doesn't have the chair for sitting, and so these are the infrastructure available in many schools today. And there are schools, this education cost is, and those who in private sector is going like anything, because there it's a business actually, and government is also not doing anything on it. Private sector are giving facilities and they are taking money, and it is a business sector rather, you can say. And in today the compounded annual growth of Indian private sector business, business rather I can say, education business is 16%. So how these poor people will handle it? Those who don't have any, this having food for this, so they are bound to go for child labor. And there is how child labor affects the nation. We need to understand. Like there is a philosophy actually, like or the this economist also said that if someone is poor and they are putting their children into for doing child labor or labor jobs and other something, so that they will earn money and their the poverty will goes off, that is wrong actually. That cycle is a vicious cycle, and they will fall in a trap actually. So it will never be solved actually. If your if poor families children are going for labor job and they trying to earn money and support family, they will remain poor actually. Now causes of child labor, if you see, number one is the poverty, which government has a huge role to play, and overpopulation, and there is this parental literacy and lack of schools for study. So government infrastructure, lack of infrastructure, or you can say high educational living cost, and lack of education and exposure of the parents, and wrong intention of the factories and the politician. So the solution to this child labor actually, like public awareness is very much important. Adult employment, suppose in someone family's adult is unemployed, so how can he think for this study of their children? It's not possible. So government's financial support is very much needed. There is a strict government rule should be there, strict labor laws should be there. So we should say a big no to the child labor. We must we should make a promise that our our children will also go for education, and that is a must for the nation actually. So if we find this presentation is this informative, and we need to do actually a lot of things for our countries. A small contribution will make change actually. So you can share this presentation with your friends and relatives, and you can subscribe this video so that you can get upcoming videos. Thank you very much for watching.